Welcome everyone, and thank you for taking time to learn about the new Maestro Student Information System. This is the new student information system that we will be using for EdOptions Academy. So we will no longer be using Genius, and we'll be using Maestro starting July 17th. That is when go live is for customers and teachers and students and everyone. So that is the plan. All right, I am on the new login page, so the URL will be redirected from Genius, so you won't have to worry about learning a new URL. There will be one, and you will see that in the credential email that will be sent out to you once system is live. But I just wanted to let you know that if you go to academy.platoweb.com, which is the Genius site, it will automatically send you to this new login page. Your username and credentials should not change. So again, look for that in that email that you get from Maestro whenever the new one is sent out, but nothing should change for your sake. All right, so this is the new homepage. It looks a little bit different than the Genius homepage, but that's all right. We have not lost any information. It's just going to be located in different areas. So first off, you can see that I have some announcements that are going to be popping up right when I log in. This is going to be a place for the director if he wants to say anything, or if your instructional lead has a message for his or her smaller cohort, or if you want to send a message to your students, to all of your students, to some of your students, whatnot, that can be done through this feature. So if you go to post announcement, that's where you're going to find that. And so I can do a target audience, I can do just a specific user, and it will pull up my entire roster of students. So I can select one, select many, whatnot, and that will be how I can do that. A reminder, all of the yellow fields are required, so that's just like Genius was, and if I try to save it, it's going to give me an error message for any field that's blank that was required. So that's just a little helpful tool for you. All right, I'm just going to go down through the tabs and show you what we have. So you can see that you have a quick view of your certifications that have been loaded into the system. This will be something that you will need to work on to enter your certifications as well as maintain your certifications as you receive new ones or as old ones expire and new ones are issued to you. So down here you can see the little plus sign. You can go ahead and add this and fill in the form and go ahead and save that, and it will show up in your table. There is also a section called Help Videos. We don't have any loaded right now, but upon go live, they will be loaded. So this will be a place for you to reference some quick guides, some quick materials if you don't remember how to do certain activities. So if you're dealing with completing or dropping an enrollment, that information will be on there. We'll have a video on pacing and progress. We'll have an information, or we'll have a video on reporting. We'll have a video on communication and templates. So that information will be there on this Help Video tab. Your department heads and instructional leads will also be able to add videos from time to time. So if they reference that they've added a video in the Help Video section, this is where this will be located, over on the left-hand side of your homepage. I can access my account information, so this is going to be just that quick personal information view. I can change my picture, which is something that will not be visible whenever you log in. You will need to load in a picture that's appropriate upon go live. So that is where that's located. If I need to update any of my information, my phone number has changed, etc., I can do that straight from this page. I can also view my inbox. So if I have messages from students or from the system, that's where these are going to be located. So this, you have 103 new messages. That's what all of these are. So I can see that the status is unread. If I go into it, it is now read, and that status is now changed to the open envelope. So you can see that, and now I'm down to 102. So a little bit of work done. All right, and I can also see my sent items. So these are going to be messages that I have specifically sent to my students, not any of the system automated emails, but these are ones that I specifically have sent. So this just keeps me on track and keeps me accountable for things that I have done with my students already. All right, we're just going to walk through the tabs so you're familiar with all the activities and functions that you can do in each of the tabs. So from the students page, you're going to be able to see your entire roster of students that you are teaching. I am logged in as placeholder teacher and I have 34 students. I can send a message to an individual student and I can do that straight from the student screen. I can send these emails to not only the student, but to the guardian, to the coach, instructional leads. If I don't want to include the student, I can also do that. Once I've entered in my subject, I can create my message. This is going to be an important step that you're going to want to take when you first log into the system, is to create a template. So you can send it just to yourself at first if you don't want to include any students, so that you can get that template all created and ready to go. This is how you're actually going to create your signature. So I can sign in, sign my signature. I can keep that as my signature, and then I can actually come up here and hit this little plus sign that is going to create a new template. So I can name this my own name if I want to, because no one else is going to see this except me. So it will be Courtney's template, and I'm going to make this my signature. If I add that as a template, now you can see that if I go to the drop-down menu, Courtney's template is there. If I change the templates, you can see that's a different one. And again, if I click back on mine, there's my template. So if I want to test that out, I can send it to myself. But if I want to send it as a regular email, I can include student, guardian, instructional lead, etc. So that is how you create your email signature. And so from here on out, anytime that you're emailing a student, you can include that template and then type the text above it, and you'll have your signed email. As you can see from the top of the table, anytime you see the little white strips within the dark blue, this is an area that you can use as a search field or a filter. So I want to look at my student with the last name Young, and so here he is. His name is Al. He has 2 enrollments, as you can see on the far right side of the screen. And if I wanted to, again, just send him an email, I could do that. If I want to view his quick information, I can do that, but I'm actually going to just view his information in the main student screen so I can see what all of the different functions are. So here's Al's main student page. I can see a little bit of his personal information, his date of birth. I can see what school he's attending, if he has a grade level that was inserted by his site coordinator, if he has an IEP, if he's an NCAA student. NCAA student, yes or no, means that they can't take classes with pretests if they are an NCAA student, so just keep that in mind. I can also see his contact information as well as his parent and guardian information. So all of that quick information is right there for you at your fingertips. I can look at his communications. So this is going to be internal communications. This is going to be some from me. This is going to be some from Maestro system, which are those automatic emails of welcome to the academy, you've been enrolled in a course, here's your teacher, etc. If I need to add a communication, if I had a phone call with Al or with his parent, I can do that. And so I can say phone, weekly phone call, and I can say discussed progress, expectations. This will allow me to log that extra communication so that the site coordinators, your instructional lead, our director, anybody from NCAA can verify that communication has been taking place between you and the student. So that's very important that you be able to add those external communications as well. Another important feature that we have added is the ability for Sensei messages within Plato Courseware. Those Sensei messages are now being fed into Maestro. So you won't have to do copy and paste and add those in as a communication. Those will be automatically brought over. So that's really exciting, a little bit less work for you guys to do. So we are excited that you can do that. All right. I'm still on Al's page, so I'm just going to go through information specific to Al. So here are current sections for Al. So he's currently in biotechnology. I am his teacher. His start date was 6/26. His end date is 10/30. He has a current grade of 0. And if I look far over on the right, I can see his pacing information. And the reason that his grade is a 0 is because he hasn't started the course. So we're actually going to talk about the next course so that we can get a little bit deeper information about Al's progress. So in veterinary science, these numbers over here indicate that he has been in the course 9 days. It started 9 days ago. The course ends in 117 days. So that's my time spent versus time remaining. The actual bar part of it is the number of assignments that he's completed, which is that number 4 in the green, and the number 40 in the yellow means the number of assignments that he is yet to do. So my goal as a teacher, as I'm looking at pacing and progress, is to make sure that the black bar, which is the percentage of time in the course where we are today. So obviously we're only 9 days in, so the bar is going to be far over to the left. But my goal as a teacher is to make sure that the black bar and the green shading are as close together as possible. If the green shading is too far to the left, then that means the student is behind. If the green bar is far to the right, then that means the student is ahead, and you can encourage them, as long as their grade is tracking appropriately, you can encourage them to continue going at the pace that they like, which seems to be a little bit faster. I can also send him another message to him directly from this page as well. And I can also, from this page, edit his enrollment status. So I can click unenroll, and this allows me to enter a final grade if he has completed all of his assignments, and I can say, great job. If I need to drop his course, I can do that here as well. So I would just need to input a drop reason, if I want to add any comments, and then I would be able to drop him here as well. So you can drop or complete on this screen for either of those enrollments. All right. The next thing to talk about on Al's student page is his gradebook. So the way that gradebook shows initially is that you have all of the assignments from all of the courses just in one long string. I can also look at assignments according to specific courses. So here I've pulled up veterinary science. I can see that the start date and end date are located here. I can see the current grade, which is the grade of assignments that have been completed thus far, is a 53.5. I can see that pacing and progress bar that I saw on the current sections page. I can see that, but a little bit bigger. It just really ties in the whole picture of what I am monitoring as a teacher, which is how much time they're remaining, how they're doing in the course, and what their grade is doing, what their grade is. And so if I scroll down below, I can see all of the assignments that are pertaining to this particular section, and I can see the grades and the dates that they received those grades. On the attendance tab, I can, again, look at this for all sections, or I can filter down to one section at a time, but I'm actually going to look at all sections this time. And there was nothing in July, but if I scroll back to June on this with this little blue arrow, when I'm looking at June, I can see that there were 5 pieces of activity that happened in the month of June. So on the 27th, there were two entries of activity. The 28th, there was 1, the 29th, 1, the 30th, 1. And so here I can see the total duration of activity that the student had. So this is just going to be a good snapshot to make sure that the students are spending adequate time in the system. If I pop on over to the sections page, this will be just a real high level of the number of sections that I have that I'm teaching. And so I can see over here I have biotechnology, I have Spanish. I'm actually going to go into one that has a few enrollments. So we'll go to this digital photography. I can email students for one section, or I could actually email all of my sections if I select up at the top. And then I go down to this little stacked windows icon down at the bottom right. Anytime you see this, that means there's a bulk action that can be performed. And this is just to make your number of clicks and hopefully the screens that you encounter a little bit less. And so here I can click send message, and this will send a message to all of the sections that I have clicked. I can select a template if I want to. I can select the roles that I would like to copy on my email. I can attach a file, so very much like a regular email. And something to note while this is loading is that these emails are going to be sent within the system. These will not be going to an external email address, no Gmail, no Yahoo, nothing like that. These will all be maintained within Maestro itself. So secure, and you're not having to worry about them being sent to an external email and then the rest of your communication is outside of the system. Everything is locked within the system, which is really great. Just helps with that added layer of accountability for you guys. All right, so I'm sending this to all my sections. I'm just going to say, have a great summer. All right, so I can then send that, and that will then appear for all students. Okay. Now from the sections page, I can actually click into the section page and see the students that are associated with that section. So I can go to my enrollments tab, and I can see that there are 4 students in that section. I also wanted to point out that you can click Launch Course. That is how you will get into Plato Courseware. And we will do that at the end of this training, but I just wanted to make note that this is located on the Sections tab. I can also look at the gradebook, and this will be for all students that are in the section, as you can see, stacked on top of each other. And if there are any grades that they have in this section, those would be filled in accordingly. I can also view attendance, so same kind of thing as we saw before. You can see the week, you can see the students, and if I scroll through, you would be able to see time in system and time on task that they have for this section. From the enrollments tab, this is going to be just those individual enrollments per student. So if I have a student that's in multiple sections, I will see them multiple times. As you can see, Al Young is taking biotechnology, and he's also taking veterinary science. I can see the pacing information that I saw in the Students tab and in the Sections tab. I can also see that here. And I can do that complete or drop enrollments function that I was doing in the Students tab as well. I have a bulk action on this screen as well. And so my options for that are to complete or drop. I can send a message. And so if I complete multiple enrollments at a time, it does come up with a warning that says the current grade that is in the system is what will stand as the final grade. You can't edit individual grades when you're doing a bulk complete. So just remember that as you're doing that. But if you have multiple kiddos to complete at the same time and the current grade is what stands, then this is a quick and easy way for you to complete those students. All right, and then one last time, I can individually click into the section. This will take me back to that section page that I was just on. And if I click on the student's name, that will take me to their student main page. So if I click into digital photography, it gives me that launch course button. I have one more function I need to show you before we get to that single sign-on, and then we will get into the new platform. So from the Teachers tab, I can see only myself because I am the only teacher that is associated with this account. So if I go into my main page, I can see all of my contact information, personal information. I see my certifications. There's a red flag because that means that this one has expired. So that's a really helpful hint for you to know to stay on top of your certifications. I can go into the certifications tab on the left-hand side, and if I need to take a look at any of these, or like I did on the home page, I can add a new certificate by following the steps. All right, there are a couple of reports that I wanted to show you about that will be very helpful as you're going through your teaching career with EdOptions Academy. One of them is the inactive students report. And so this will show you the last time that a student has been active in the LMS and the last time that an assignment was completed. So this is just a really good snapshot of what students are doing and who's idle so that you can target maybe some specific communication to a group of students. And then I can also see a student attendance report. So if I want to see student attendance for all of my students and not just per section or per enrollment or per student, I can do this and see all of the roster of students that have attendance during a certain time period. So if I am particularly interested in 628, I can filter to just that day. And this will show me that I only had one student in one class active in the system on June 28th. There is one more piece of information that I need to show you, and that is if you ever come into trouble, the system isn't working, there's an error in a course, or the SIS is not working properly, we do have a link to contact support. So you have their phone number as well as their email address listed right here in the system for you to easily contact them. So now we will head over to the LMS. And so I'm going to go into one of my sections and click Launch Course. So with launching this course, this will take me to Plato Courseware 3.5. So this is the new teacher interface on the Courseware side of things as well. I will open up to Sensei just like I always have been. So this is a familiar screen for you guys. Alerts will be here. Anything that's ready to score, I can specifically go to that tab and see if there are any assignments that need to be graded. This one does not have any. Oh, there we go, it does. So right now I have 4 discussions that are available to be scored. So I can click into those and it will allow me to respond to him, submit, and then I can exit. All right, so that is where you will find your ready to score items in Sensei. Collaboration is still there. You'll be able to see all of your students and student cards, so you can see just your high-level information there. But the main focus of today is going to be in the new Courseware area. So this is the new view for Courseware. You open up on the home page, which has my active tasks. This is going to be very similar to the Ready to Score page that you see in Sensei. So if you want to perform everything here, you're able to do that. You can see the 4 discussions that we had in Sensei. Those are also located here. If I go to My Courses and then My Classes, I can see all of the classes that I teach. And so I can see that there are 4 enrollments in this digital photography class. I can see that the start date and end date are located here. I have my link to grade tracker, so that will shoot you straight over. We do still have the link to grade tracker at the top, but if you want to quickly access it, you can do that for that specific course. I can do class summary, and then I have a couple of quick reports that I can do as well. So this is where your graphic learner and your detail score report are going to be for those specific sections. Okay, so we can click into class summary, and this will show us the enrolled learners that we have. I have 15, and before I take any action on this page, let me go ahead and show you class curriculum. So this will show you the structure of the course that you're teaching, so you can expand, you can preview any of these modules and tests, so you'll be able to do that. If I need to hide anything, if I'm working with a specific site that doesn't want to do graded discussions or drop boxes, I can hide those and that will work. I just need to save my settings up at the top. But if I go back to the enrolled learners, this is where your edit learner status is going to be. That was the area in PLE 2.0 where you were editing grades, you were resetting assignments that needed to be reset. So that is where this will be here. All right. So this student has not completed anything, but it at least shows us the structure of the course. And so you can see applied medical terminology, you can see the Unit 1, the status is not complete. But what I can do here is I can set as locked, I can set this as exempt, and then if I go down to a mastery test, I would actually be able to reset the activity. I would be able to lock or unlock if they get locked out of it. I would be able to set it as exempt. I would be able to edit progress. So if I needed to set it as mastered, click my score in there that needs to be shown. I click save. And now this Introduction to Medical Terminology Mastery Test will show mastered. Okay, I can also, from the edit student status, I can click on this student, and if the student had completed a test, so this would be a mastery test, a post-test, end of semester test, I would be able to view that test showing it would be this little magnifying with paper. I would be able to click on that and it would allow me to open up the test and see the answers that the student responded on that test. So an easy way for you to get to the student responses. So again, that's all located in the Edit Learner Status page. All right. I can also browse curriculum. So if I need to take a look at course structure, if I need to preview information on a course in the future for a student that I will be working with in a couple of days, I can do that as well. So in the browse curriculum, I can let this load. I can type in algebra, and it'll pull up the algebra courses, and I'll be able to expand that structure, see the pre-tests, post-tests. I can preview a tutorial, and so that is where that is located. The last thing that I will show you is the reports tab. So you still have access to the same reports that you were using in PLE. You have your graphic learner progress report. You have your daily usage report. So this is going to be time in system, time on task. Your learner progress report is going to be that detailed report of the activities that the student has completed, the time that it took, the grade, how many attempts, and so forth. So that will, you're not losing any of those. Those are just all located now in your reports tab. And then the last thing that I wanted to show you is that we still have the navigation for Grade Tracker up here. So if I click on that, I will be able to see all of my enrollments and sections within Grade Tracker to be able to manage those grades there. And as always, if you have any questions about Courseware, if you feel like a course is not behaving appropriately, content looks a little off, or the system is not working, again, that's a time to contact our support team, and that information again is in your student information system, that tab on the left. And as always, if you have any other questions, you can contact your instructional lead, or you can contact Rick, our director, and they will be happy to help you in any of those areas. Thanks so much and have a great school year.